Hi guys, welcome back to PBTV, and we have a brand new range to look at. This is all stuff from a company called Stingray Airsoft. They make all sorts of unique accessories, is the best way to put it. We do have an order on the way of various different bits, but this is more a precursor to things that are coming. They managed to get us all the stuff that they've had at the shows over the last year. So SHOT Show, IWA, various things like that. Just so we could get a little bit of content out and show you what is coming. A lot of it is sort of very new to Airsoft as well. A lot of it is foam rocket. There's not really much Moscat or things that actually go bang. There is some spreading BBs and some Claymores, as you can see in front of me. So we are excited to get all this stuff in, but we're throwing it out to the community to think which one of these are going to be the most viable for the sites that you go to. So we're going to start on my right, work my way across, and then come to the bigger stuff right at the end, because it is very, very cool. So all of this has no pyrotechnics and no gas in it. It is all, if it is a projectile of any kind, it is pressurized air, and it is pressurized at the factory. So most of this stuff, the actual fireable parts, are disposable. So we'll have a look at the sort of standalone launcher system that we have here. So again, cardboard tube and 3D printed parts to make all this work. Safety caps on the end here. Again, 3D printed optics, because again, this is a disposable piece of kit. In the center here, there is a canister that they pressurized to the requested pressure. So again, depending what country you're in and what environment you're using this in, it is set at factory what these are going to fire at. So again, releasing the pins, there's all sorts of safety features on them. There's a pin at the back, there's a cap at the front with remove before flight, and inside here is one of multiple different types of foam rocket. As you can see, the pin here, pressing this down breaks a wrapped wire in this one, because it's not electrical, this is all physical. That breaches the cap, drops the door down, and the air launches it out. So if I move that one out the way, what we will look at is this is the rocket that is inside it. Again, you can see here, this is the rocket in just a demo piece of tube, and you can see the fins are folded away, and as it comes out, it uses the elastic bands to stabilize it. And this rocket itself and other ammunition comes in a tube similar to this. This is for the larger rocket, but we'll come on to that. And just in there, it's going to be very difficult for me to line it up and see. But in there, if it's possible to see, that is where the cap and everything goes. And again, when these are loaded, the rocket goes in the air, and as it comes out, you can see the fins deploy, and that is what stabilizes it. But there's no pyrotechnics or gas firing these. It's all done by compressed air that you do not add yourself. It is added at factory. Obviously, we have a foam rocket that is very easily crushable, moldable, and even the wings and stabilizing parts themselves are bendable, foldable. This thing hitting anything, it's just going to bounce like a Nerf ball. There are other projectiles that they are planning. One of the other ones that we have is this one here. And again, this is actually a tracer version. So there is normally a little pin or loop here. Pull that out and it activates a short-term battery inside here. So again, it is all foam-filled, moldable, bendable, and safe for impact. Again, there's mortar systems and rocket systems, but that makes it glow from the inside. Obviously, the foam has a little bit of glow-in-the-dark material in there, allowing it to absorb some of that projectile. Again, a disposable piece that in some scenarios, maybe in a milsim, people are using vehicles. You can use these to tag vehicles and take them out. All sorts of things like that. It is a bit of a rarity in UK Airsoft, but in the wider community and globally, it does seem like something quite useful. But there are some massive sites and massive game days and massive milsims in the UK that might find these useful. Another version, again, this is disposable as well, primed in factory, and this is the self-assembled mortar system. So it has the legs on the front of it like so. Again, safety caps on the front. Collapsing this down, we have a safety pin on the trigger and the firing mechanism just here with a tiltable platform or sort of base plate at the bottom. Exactly the same as the shoulder-mounted law type system. This fires up and over, and again, you can have this, we will have this charged and primed to what would make it correct for UK standards. Obviously, it has a projectile part in here, so we need to make sure it is matching all of our criteria. But again, this is going to launch up and come down under gravity, so maybe much more interesting to some users. There isn't currently any plans for them to make anything that actually goes bang when it lands. So again, these are more for simulation scenarios, maybe taking vehicles out or things like that, or maybe more staff orientated, like marshals functioning with these to get ambience and stuff. But again, this is a disposable item. Once it is fired, it is then a little bit of plastic and cardboard. So it is then chucked away and you can get yourself another one. So again, both these systems fire these little foam rockets. Again, we've got the glow-in-the-dark version and the standard foam one. There is on the website talk of a impact one that has a little bit of dust or powder in it. But again, these are all things that they're planning in the future. Coming on to stuff that I do think is going to be very potent and very practical in UK airsoft. Obviously, there's this is where sort of BBs and a bit more versatility comes in. So the first thing we're going to look at is the Claymore system. So this does have a disposable part. So taking this off at the back, this part here, very similar to the launchable arrows or the rockets. This has a piece of plastic on the front, and inside here there is 90 BBs. This is what you would buy as your disposable if you were buying like a Mark V or a bit of pyro or something like that. This is the bit that you would have to get extra, and this is the reusable sort of frame of the Claymore system. As you can see, there is a battery compartment in the left here. Under that, very small 11.1 in there. Comes with legs on here. There is space for a third one, so you can stick it in the ground. But once you do have this attached and in, it will naturally sit at an angle. But if you are wanting it a bit more of a directional state in soft ground, you do have functionality with it. So dropping that out. As you can imagine, this one is not physically fired. You can see on here, there is 2 contact points here. So the difference between the mortar and the AT4 is this one is activated by the 11.1. So the charged air that is in here has a metal coil going around it. And when the 11.1 charges this, it burns that metal wire away at a certain rate, opens that flap and discharges the air, forcing the 90 BBs out of here. So again, locks in at the back. You do have safety pins. You've got an on and off switch, and it sits there ready and waiting for someone to wander past. How does it fire? We have a very cool little activator here. As you can see, it won't click. Pulling the safety bit out, clicking that down makes a very positive click, and you're good to go. We do have a safety button on the bottom as well to turn this on and off. So this is an activated clicker Claymore that you can sit there waiting. And I think they state it has a 30 to 40 meter range on this. But if you then want to add this piece to it, this is then a range extender or a infrared activator as well. So if you have this in multiple options, you can set this up, activate it, put it in a position, and this will fire the Claymore at the back once someone walks past. It is a very narrow field as well. So they've deliberately set the sensor back here, so it is literally almost like a beam. But what this also does, if you want to turn off the infrared sensor, this turns the clicker into a 60 to 100 meter clicker range, because it activates onto this and then this fires the Claymore. So I think this is a very cool addition to airsoft, sort of having a reliable clicker Claymore, almost like a rather than being a pyrotechnic or a bang, it gives options for that spray of BB and a bit more realism of actually what's hitting you with a Claymore system. But what you also have with this is that versatility of it being such a range. Normally with previous airsoft clickers, you've got to be within like 10, 15 meters. I'd recommend that you're always visible to this thing when you see it going off, just so you know it's functioned. You can see your kills going off. But I think this is definitely one of the coolest Claymores that we've had around. Again, you will need multiple of the parts of the back, just so you can get this thing reloaded as quick as possible and then go back out. So if this is in a position and you fired it, you could literally drop this out, drop another one in, and it is primed and ready to go. You could click it again and it will fire. They state that with the standard air fill that they have in this, obviously we've got to do some testing to see which way and the FPS and things that come out as it's firing the BBs. They state that it's got about a 40-foot like distance spread. Again, width, we're not too sure. Again, it will depend on wind, ambient, and sort of environment that you're in, trees, all sorts of stuff. But very excited to see people run these things. I think I'm definitely going to throw one of them in my gear and see how they sort of assist, rather than having to throw bangs, pyro, remote dets, and setting all sorts of other stuff up. Speaking of sort of being a bit sneaky, the Claymore system, if you're a sniper or a bit more of a Recon player, this is definitely a cool little gadget. So inside here we have a little door where we can fit our batteries. It all cuts away into a very streamlined, narrow profile. And as you can see on the front here, we have a little camera. So this is a purpose-built Recon drone system that comes with its screen and controller. You link these together, open the screen up, and you can literally drive this around with a one-to-one view on the camera of what is coming up above. Really sleek, really low profile. It has a 0 turning circle as well. It works on wheel braking, so you can spin on the spot. You've got all the controls on here for moving around, trimming. People that have been into remote control cars and things like that, you can really dial this thing in. It has a potential top speed of about 10 miles an hour, so this thing can get around a bit. We've not tested it outside yet for its overall range, but the actual signal coming back, we've done it through buildings, through walls, and through various different things, and we're still receiving a very strong signal back. So you can scout around with this thing, or even just have it in a static position, keeping an eye on an alleyway or a roadway, and seeing the enemy come in a sort of sneaky suspicion, but you could combo this with the Claymore, back it off, they chase it, and then activate that as a defensive mechanism. If you want to be a bit more aggressive, they have a larger version. So this is the larger version. Again, these have been around the world to SHOT Show. They've been used and abused all over the place. So we have a little bit of damage on this one, including on the payload system from when it's been shipped and transported from SHOT Show to Germany to various different places. But this also has a camera system in it at the front, so you can drive this around. It's got the slightly higher mobility on this version, so you have a bit more sort of all-terrain capability, but this is the payload version. There's going to be 3 different payloads that happen with this. So the one that we have here is a 40mm Moscar grenade. So as you're driving this around, you go into a building, you see an enemy, you literally can fire your 40mm off the top and engage them as you see fit, and then back off. They are future-proofing this with the connectors at the back, so that they potentially can put remote dets or pyrotechnics in here, but there is also going to be features where you will have a payload option for the Claymore ammunition as well. So if you're running these, there will be a Claymore option where you could add this to it rather than the 40mm launcher and fire this from your remote sentry drone system. And again, it works off exactly the same system here with the screen and the controls. We've had a little play around with these in the office, and they are incredibly fun to use, just scooting around. It's like old school Call of Duty with the C4RC platform. I think they're absolutely hilarious, and the sort of interaction you get from the screen and the payloads is a lot of fun. These run off USB when it is set up in the 40mm version, but again, as I've said, they're future-proofing it for other versions with the connectors at the back. Similar to the short one, you've got the same speed, range, and attributes of it, so very excited to see what people think of these, and they are incredibly fun toys to have a play with. The last thing that we're going to look at is probably the biggest thing that they do, and it's going back to the launchers. So they have a full-size AT4 system. The optic that on it is an additional part, because obviously this is again using the compressed air ammunition tubes. So these are the tubes that load into this. As you can see, we have the 2 metal connectors on the back, so we're using that wire burn launching system. So on the back here, we have a little cap. If I remove the cap, it says nice and easily. Ooh, dropping that out, opens up the back here. You slide one of your choice rockets in there, whether or not it's tracer, marker, or foam. Lock it up. You then have a pin at the back here that is making the entire system inert. And then on the side, just there, might be quite difficult to see, but there is a safety switch here. So pressing that in arms it, and then firing it is the red switch to come down. So you do have to press both. What we also have on here is this slides forward and opens up the aperture, and on this side opens up and gets your front peep sight. Underneath here is where you put your 11.1 battery, and again we have an arrow on the top here dictating which way the pin goes in, because you don't want to put it through the, it is a switch lever, so you want to make sure it gets put in the correct way. So because this is firing these foam rockets again, these have a set weight. What you can do with this optic as an additional part, this doesn't come with the launcher, it's something that they're developing at the moment. This thing has all the telemetry and the ballistic coefficients of all their ammunitions. So if you know what pressure you have got your rockets in, that it will dictate that on the box when they come. You can input that into this, and this will deliberately change its aperture, and there's a square on it. So when you're on target, this thing almost feels like it's locking on like a fighter pilot. So you're just dropping down, you see a square, you'll fire, and this thing is extremely accurate with the telemetry that they've put in this thing. I think it's a very clever system. Very unique for airsoft. Does everybody need one? Probably not. Does everyone want one? Absolutely. You've got the shoulder rest, all the different aspects of it. There's nothing else like this in airsoft, but it's all down to whether or not it's going to be suitable and fit for your site, whether or not you've got vehicles, bases, anything like that that can be destroyed in a different manner to what we're used to with pyrotechnics. But yeah, I think Stingray are coming out with some incredibly potent and cool products, and we've just got these in as a sort of prerequisite to show what is coming. Very excited for the Claymore. I think that and the sort of payload drone is what I'm looking forward to most. I think they've got the most versatility, and I think they've got the most use, especially with the ability on the payload drone to simply lift out one option that you have here and swap it out with another one if you want. So if you've run out of 40 mils or you don't want to reload them and you want to drop in a remote det system, it's very convenient. And this is man-packable as well, so it comes with a bag, a case that fits all of its aspects in, so you can carry this around quite comfortably if you want to deploy it at any time. But let us know what you think about the foam rockets, the launching system. Are they going to be any use at your site to take vehicles down, take bases down? How are they going to function in airsoft in general? Are you more looking forward to the sneaky beaky side of things with the Claymore? I know a few people have been eyeing up the potential of what that is capable of. Or are the sneaky beaky drones what really excite you? Let us know in the comments down below. We're really eager to find out what you guys think, and we're eager to get this all in and gain it out to you. But if that is everything for now, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.